What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Babbles Nonsense podcast. Today we have Ivy back. You may remember her from 2 years ago. She has not revisited the podcast. It's been a hot minute, but her episodes always do well. She is hilarious. She says whatever she is feeling, and we just wanted to do somewhat of a girly pop episode. So we're kind of talking about getting our nails done, our gripes for the week, dating, relationships, all the things. So if you want a good laugh, this is definitely the episode for you. Here we are. Here we are. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Babbles Nonsense podcast. I have Ivy back with me.
After forever.
It's been about 2 years. You know, everyone couldn't handle her being on the podcast last time because she's just so damn funny. So I was like, yeah, it's time. It's time to bring her back. She's funny. She's hilarious. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth. So
that's true.
We just wanted to do like a girly pop episode today. Just because the podcast has been very serious lately and we need to get some of the seriousness gone. Like, it's just been dire. Is that the right word? Vocabulary over there?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah. How have you been?
Excellent.
What is the sigh for?
Let's talk about some shit.
We will talk about some shit.
It has been forever.
It really has. And last time I think that you were on the episode, I think it was literally titled Shit
Doom, Gloom, and I don't know.
I think it was like titled something like Shit Gets Weird with Ivy. Because like all the stories that I was not prepared for that literally you thought about while we were on the podcast, I was just like, okay, I didn't know all this about your friend, but that works.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It is what it is.
And I mean, my grandpa just died.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
So,
but I know the last time was just doom, gloom, and death, and then here we are.
Oh, that is true. We talked about your brother's death last time.
Yeah.
So yes, her grandfather did die, and I'm sad because he didn't marry me before he died. And
Jonna!
leave me all of his money. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But I really did love
Jonna.
I'm kidding, but I loved your grandpa. He was the sweetest. He was the cutest little man. And you know, I love my little 9-year-old peepaws. Mm-hmm. They're just so adorable. And like, he just gave no fucks. He said whatever he wanted to say.
Correct. I mean, when you're over 85 or 80 even, you get that right, obviously.
Well, I mean, you know, I go to assisted livings and all my little old people, they literally say how they're feeling. And I'm like, I can get down with this because that's my personality.
We know.
She said we know.
We know. Obviously, I know more than anybody because we have had our tiffs.
We've had our fair share.
Yeah, correct. We've been friends for 4 years maybe now, I think, and we've had our fair share. I mean, it's fine, whatever.
I think that's normal in friendships. I think
maybe.
I mean, like, we're all different people, just like in relationships, and I think it matters on how you communicate with each other. I think we just have different styles of arguing. Like, I want to talk about everything and you want to run away. Correct. So,
I want to hide.
And I'm like, no, we need to talk about this. Like, this is a problem. Like, let's figure out a solution.
And I'm like, no.
No, bye. I'm going to go in my little hermit shell over here. I'll see you in about a week.
Correct. And then we'll consider talking about it.
No. You don't even want to consider talking about it at that time. You want to be like, okay, we forgot what happened. Let's move on. And I'm like, that is not how the world works. We don't just forget what happened. We have to talk about this or it's going to happen again. Okay, but for real.
More on that. Let me just also say my grandpa was wononderful. He was 93 years old and he was the best grandpa that ever existed.
He was. He was a very sweet man, even though he didn't marry me.
If you don't quit about marrying my grandpa.
I asked him if he wanted to be my boyfriend the last time I met him and he said no.
Great. You cannot be my step grandma.
Be kind of funny though.
Oh my God.
But
okay, Anna Nicole Smith. You cannot look for a man in finance. 93, about to die. No, leave my grandpa alone. Well, he's wonderful.
I have to leave him alone now. I'm just kidding. I know that was awful.
Too soon. It's too soon. That was my last grandpa. Oh my God, my last grandparent. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I do.
Do stuff.
I was about to say I don't have a grandpa alive, but I do.
Do you? Okay.
We don't talk. We don't communicate. Him and my mom weren't. It's my mom's father.
Oh, okay.
And they weren't really close. But I guess now, since he's older and needs help, they're becoming closer. But probably her entire life, 50 years, they didn't talk.
Wow.
So,
I guess when you need your ass wiped, I guess you start talking.
well, he doesn't need that yet.
Convenient.
He needs help with medications and stuff like that. But going back to communication styles, I was just curious, since you run away from me when I would like to like communicate on our arguing and, you know, communication styles, do you do that in your relationships?
No, funny enough, like I really, you know, I guess since we're going there on the pod.
Well, you know, we are going to talk about a little bit about dating today because that's something new in my life recently.
So communication is important. No, actually, I would say no. In my marriage, I'm the one that I am more the aggressor. I think, like, which is kind of funny. I think,
And he runs.
Yes, he's the more, I guess, the avoider. I think.
But now thinking about that, can you now empathize with him and go, oh, I get it now why you don't want to talk to me in this moment, because I do the same thing to Jonna.
Nope. No, I am not privy to his way of arguing then, because
you do it yourself. What do you mean you're not privy to it?
That's true. I don't want to fill his shoes and feel the way he feels. Nope. I want to be the aggressor.
Oh, well, you know. There's more time for that in our relationship
That's
forward.
True. Yep. It's horrible.
All right. So speaking of relationships and dating, you've been married how long now?
Gosh. Let's see. December was 10 years. So we're working on 10 and a half.
And you've been together how long?
Probably 12.
Okay. So together 12, married 10. Y'all have 2 kids. How's that going?
We're chugging right along.
How's life?
Dangerously in love. Yes. We're doing well.
Good. Yeah. That's good. So I don't think your husband listens to this podcast. If he does, it's time for him to turn it off, because we're going to talk about dates that you went on prior to him, not while you're with him, obviously.
Yes, no. I mean, it's been so long since I have dated. So obviously,
and he probably knows these stories anyways.
No. I mean, like, not that he wants to hear about the dates that I went on before we started dating. I mean, obviously, because, you know, like, ew, I don't want to hear about his date, you know, whatever. But
so if he is listening, it's time to turn it off, because I don't have a lot of single friends to like share these stories with. So I have to pick on my married friends. So you have to kind of remember back to prior to marriage when you were dating. Because it is rough out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? So like when you were dating, were there dating apps?
Ugh. I mean, I think so. Yeah.
Were there like maybe eHarmony and Match?
Probably.
But they're like not all the other stuff. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they suck. I get on them for like literally 24 hours and then I delete it, and then I'll get back on it and then I delete it, because some of the comments that I get are just weird. So like, I wish I had my phone near me so I don't mess this up, but like I screenshotted 2 of the comments that like somebody had. So I was using Hinge, and like the way Hinge works, instead of swiping left or right, there's like a little X. So you hit X and it's no, and then you like something, whether that be a photo or it's something they said. You can
like ask to smell your used socks.
No. That's weird. One of them said, like, commented on my photo and was like, are you actually on here to date, or are you just looking for attention?
Oh.
And I was like, fucking rude. Clearly I'm on a dating app to date. What do you mean, am I just looking for attention? So I clearly exited out of that one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there was
creeper.
And then there was another one, and I can't exactly remember what it said, but it was kind of funny. It was, I had put on like one of my prompts or something. It said like, what are you scared of? And I said spiders and allergic reactions, because I have this very irrational fear of allergic reactions, because working in the ER for so long and just seeing all these anaphylactic reactions come in to like, people took like a new antibiotic or something and they were like anaphylactic. And then as I've gotten older, if I was prescribed a new medication or something, I was like, oh my God, what if I go into anaphylaxis and I'm here alone and I'm going to die alone, and then my dog is going to eat my dead carcass?
And that's how you die.
And that's how I die.
With your tongue all swollen out. And then you can't get.
It's a very irrational fear. I understand that, because I'm knock on wood, not allergic to anything that I'm aware of,
that you know of.
That I know of yet, right? Like, people develop new allergies every day. So it's a very irrational fear. I'm very aware of that. Anyways, that was one of the prompts I had on there. And this guy responded, Me too, but I think I might have an allergic reaction if you don't speak to me or something.
Ooh.
Like that. Got the X because I was just like, it was kind of funny, but also at the same time I was like, you're not attractive. But anyways, but it's also like, I hate dating apps because I know like we base it off of like looks initially, like because you don't know someone's personality. Like no one knew, like when I put on my prompt why I was allergic to spiders and allergic reactions, like a lot of people were probably like, allergic reactions, like what the fuck? But like unless you know my personality and like you know it's like me trying to be funny, then someone could be really turned off by that, right? So you can't really get a grip on someone's personality based on just a few photos and a few prompts. But anyways, we're going to talk about some of the dates I have gone on in the past, which are very few and far between. Obviously, they've never panned out because I am single. Never married, no kids. If anyone's asking or thinking about dating me, maybe this should be my new dating profile, my podcast. But also, I should just put out a fair warning that if you do go on a date with me, be careful because it could end up as content. No promises, no guarantees.
I mean, that's fine.
Unless they make me sign an NDA or something. So do you have any, before I tell my embarrassing dating stories, do you have any embarrassing dating stories?
None. It's been so long, too. You got to
That is a lie. You told me a story before we got on this podcast.
I mean, I went on one date, and this guy looked like he came out from under a fucking bridge. He was old and ugly.
Oh,
first
wait,
of all.
context. How old were you?
In my early 20s.
Okay, so you were early 20s. How old was he?
40s.
Why did you go on a date, first of all, with someone in their 40s while you were 22?
I don't know. I lived in Chicago. Life was easy.
Oh, you lived in Chicago?
Yes, for a little bit.
You need to talk to Chrissy. She's actually going to visit, and she's terrified to go.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, you just hear about all the crime and stuff, you know?
Yeah. I mean.
But I kind of wanted to visit Chicago. It looks fun.
I had a great time.
Okay, so you went on a date with someone in their 40s and you were in your early 20s. So you said he looked like he rolled out from under a bridge.
Yes, and he was just ugly. Whatever. Had the nerve and the audacity, the absolute audacity to tell me that I looked better than my profile picture. Fuck you.
He told you looked better than your profile picture?
Yes.
That's actually a compliment.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the fucking nerve and the audacity.
Someone actually told me that one time, this guy that I liked, and I didn't think it was rude. He said it's someone I knew, but I didn't really know him. I knew of him in high school. He was a little bit younger than me, and he showed up to pick me up on a date, and when I opened the door, he was just like, oh, wow. And I was like, what? And he was like, you just don't look like your photos. And I was like, he was like, no, not a bad thing. Like, you look great in your photos, but you look even better in person. And I was like, I just thought that was a compliment. So I think that way he was giving you a compliment.
Maybe so.
Some people don't photograph well. I'm not saying that about you. I'm just saying I don't photograph well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Unless I have like makeup on and like a ring light.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, if it was like, you know how to know what someone really looks like? Go to their tagged photos. Because there's no lighting, your friends are taking the most awkward pictures of you, you're at the most awkward angle, because on Instagram and stuff, it's a highlight reel, you put your best foot forward, you put filters on that shit. Like, if you want to know what someone really looks like, go to their tagged photos.
Ooh, well,
I'm serious. So I think that he was giving you a compliment. Maybe we should rethink that.
I don't think we should. We're not going to revisit that. How long ago was that? Like, I don't know.
Any other dates? Ago? Any other interesting stories?
No, not really. I mean, honestly, I really didn't date that much.
Me either. And I don't know. Dating is just so awkward. It's just, I get super nervous and I start sweating. That reminds me. Okay, I have 3 stories. I got to tell you now that I said sweating. Okay, so let's talk about the sweating stories first. So when I moved to Nashville in 2017, I was like, I actually felt more comfortable getting on a dating app because you're not really going to run into people in Nashville quite as often as in Huntsville, And so I was just like, okay, let me get on this dating app. And then I did. And I met this guy one night. And I remember sitting in the car and my roommate, I was like sitting there texting her going, I don't want to get out of this car. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then anyways, I did. He looked kind of like Matthew McConaughey. So he was very attractive, but with black hair instead of blonde hair. But it was like kind of like to his ears and curly. Fit, blue eyes, whatnot. So we're sitting at the bar ready to eat. And when we go to order, like, I'm the type of girl that's going to eat on a date. That's just, I like food. I'm not going to sit here and pick or whatnot. And so I ordered like a steak and potato, whatever. And he's like, I'm just going to do the salad.
No. Mm-mm.
Which is whatever. People like salad, But then he just kept talking about it. Like kept talking about how many calories were in things and like how much he was going to have to work out to burn all this off. And I was like, I'm very also into nutrition. I'm into health, but I also like to have a good time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like this is like, I could not wait to leave that date.
Yeah. He's just ruining it.
Like, right.
Let's talk about anything else.
Right. So that was one of my dates I went on. And like I said, there have been few. And so then I moved back to Huntsville a year later and I was like, well, let me try this dating app. And so got on the dating app, went on a date with this one guy and we went to like a brewery, which I don't even drink beer. So, because I don't even drink beer. And I had this yellow shirt on, this yellow short sleeve shirt on. And like I said, when I've always been this way, like if I had to get up in public speaking, like in nursing school and stuff and give a speech, I would just start profusely sweating, like face sweating, sweat everywhere. So I remember getting there and we sat down and I just had this armpit sweat stains from hell in this yellow t-shirt because you could see it. Wrong color. Should have wore a black shirt. And I remember going to the bathroom trying to use the little hand dryer to dry it, and it wouldn't do it fast enough because I didn't want him to think I was in there, taking a dump or something. So I just kept my arms down the whole time and I felt like I couldn't reach for anything or anything like that. So it was super embarrassing.
That doesn't sound, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, like those are just like random dates I've been on. I don't even think I've been on like, I think that's probably the only 2 random dates I've been on, to be honest with you. Because everybody else that I've went on a date with, I ended up kind of in a situationship with.
I mean, yeah.
One of them though, I was telling you this before the podcast because I was like, this is super guilty and embarrassing, but I'm going to, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because you can never be too sure these days if people are still married trying to date.
Which is shameful.
Shameful. But there was this one guy that I thought was really attractive in the gym when I was in college. So it was my last year of grad school, I think. And so I was at the gym, the college gym, and me and my friends still worked out together. And I kept going, God, this man is so fine. So she went up to him for me. And I was like, oh my God, I ran outside. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe you're going to go talk to this man for me. Like, I don't want you to do that. I was just telling her he was attractive. So she was like, well, if you're not going to talk to him, I'm going to go talk to him for you. So she went and told him that I thought he was cute. And he was like, oh, I thought she was cute too. Here's my number. Da, 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 da. Well, he looked way younger than he was because he was also like 40, 41. And I was 25-ish, I guess. And we end up going on a date in public. We go on several dates. He comes and meets my friends at my place of work. We had like a work party. He comes. So then we're like talking for like 4-ish months, whatnot. And because he was in his 40s, I was like, asking those hard-hitting questions on the first date. Like, have you been married? Do you have kids? Why not? Like, I'm not saying something's wrong with you, but why at 40, which now me almost being 40, never married with no kids, like it's kind of ironic. I was just like, what's the deal, right? And he was just like, I just never found the person, da 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 da.
Oh, so he could lied right through his teeth, like without blinking an eye. Continue. Yeah.
So I was working in the ER at the time, and it was like Labor Day or maybe Memorial Day. I can't remember which day it was. It was a holiday, and I had to work. And he was, chatting me up or whatnot. Because we were talking like all day, every day, right? I also thought it was kind of weird that he had never made a move on me. Like no kissing, nothing. Like nothing. 4 months in, right? It's kind of weird. You're just kind of like, does he like me? Or are we just friends? Anyways, it was the holiday. And he was like, hey, do you need me to bring you any food? Like, I hate that you're missing this holiday. And I was like, no, that's okay. Like they have stuff up here. Because we'd always do like little potlucks and stuff. So he sends me a photo of his food that he's eating, and it's like sitting on a tray that has photos on it. One of the photos, all I see is this white dress. So immediately zoom in, and it's a picture of his motherfucking wedding day.
Good.
And I was like, what the hell? So I screenshot it and I sent it back to him and I said, is there something you need to tell me? He goes, oh, about that. I've been meaning to tell you that. And I was like, no, you didn't. No, you weren't. Like, no. You idiot. Like, men are, sorry, men, you're dumb. Like, I feel like women can cheat so much better than men because men don't think about all those little intricacy things. Like, I would have immediately gone, there's photos on this. Let me look at the photos before I send this photo.
Like, Yeah, because we're FBI agents.
So now it makes sense why he never kissed me or tried to do anything. You're fucking
Wow.
married. So you can never be too sure of these people out here. That's, you know what? First date questions. I'm like, are you married? Like, they're not going to tell you, but.
Well, yeah. And it's almost 10 times worse. He lied through his teeth the whole time for 4 months. Like, wow.
Right. Well, and that's kind of where, like, when people get mad at the girl, like, his wife could have easily been mad at me.
Correct.
But I didn't know.
Correct. Yeah.
And so when people say they truly didn't know, like Lala Kent with Randall and stuff like that, when apparently he was still married when they got together or something.
No clue, but yeah.
Vanderpump Rules. But people will be like, how did you not know? Because if people lie and it seems legit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look at all that time that he was living a double life and like texting you around the clock.
Funny story. One of my friends, will not name names, but she has a stalker app. So anytime I go on a new date, I'm like, hey, can you make sure this person's legit? Because there's some scary stories out there. Have you heard the story? I think I told you this, but I'm going to remind you. Have you heard the story about this girl that went on Hinge? And I don't remember where it was, but she came home from her Hinge date.
You did tell me about that. Oh my God.
And so she came home from her Hinge date and she was just kind of like, something felt eerie in her house. Like maybe one or two things was like mildly out of place. And so she called 911 to the dispatcher and was just like, hey, like, I don't know if anyone's in my house, but like something just doesn't feel right. And the dispatcher was like, ma'am, like, unless you know something, we can't send anyone to help you. Like, this is not an emergency. Fortunately for her, the police intercepted that call and like went and checked anyways. And so they went and searched her house. Her Hinge date was in the basement with knives and like all this plastic wrap ready to chop her into pieces. So it's like dating in 2024 is just not the vibe. It's just not the vibe. So stay married even if it sucks.
It's the Dexter vibe.
It's just stay married even if it's just stay married.
Yeah, it's fine. They can lead like double lives and, you know, like have Henry VIII mistresses, you know, like it's fine.
Right.
Yeah, just so that way you won't get chopped up. It's fine. It's fine. It's
not
okay.
Hannibal Lecter over here. You never know. He might have wanted to eat her body. I don't know. You just don't know.
We'll get turned into a lamp. It's fine. A skin suit.
Anyways, so yeah, we don't have very many dating stories for y'all.
Nope, it's very one-sided.
Those are just the 3 that I know of that I randomly went on, and I think maybe I'm traumatized and that's why I don't date. It's also awkward as hell.
Yeah.
Like having to ask the same questions over and over, and like you never know if someone's lying, and I'm automatically thinking people are liars anyways just from working in the ER. Like everybody lies. You know? Ooh. But anyways, do you have any gripes this week?
I always have gripes.
What are your gripes from this week or this month?
Oh God, let's see. I don't know. Let's go with yours first. My brain just kind of like, sometimes it's just full of TV static.
So my gripe this week is when I don't know if I should say it. Let's come back to the gripes. I don't know if I want to say it just yet. One would be if you're married going on dates. Yeah, just never know.
That would be fucked up, I would say.
Yeah. But you have a trip coming up.
I do, and I am so excited.
So let's talk about that. Where are you going?
I am so excited. We're going to El Salvador, where my husband's from.
I'm geographically challenged, so can you please?
We know!
Because I think I asked you if that was in South America.
You're Mexico. You sexually asked me if it was in Mexico.
And then I said, wait. I said, wait, not Mexico, South America. And you
said,
no.
Central America.
Bitch, I don't know. I have to use my GPS in Huntsville.
Okay, so I thought I'm really like, I shouldn't be laughing as hard at you because I am geographically challenged as well, which is embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. Like, I hated geography in school. Yeah. Hated it. When people are like, well, are you going? I remember I dated this guy who was great at geography, and he was like, it's just north. And I was like,
what does that mean? Yeah,
which way is that?
He's probably one of those people that gives you directions and it's like, go south by southwest or something.
I'm sure, probably. And I'm like, So you're going to Central America.
Let's just also preface, we have Masters of Science in nursing and not geography.
Right.
Fucking whatever.
Right.
So we're going to El Salvador, and I'm so excited because we're spending 10 days and we're going, like, literally, here's the funniest part. Like, basically, our entire families are going. So my mom and my dad are
Oh,
going.
I didn't know your mom and dad were going.
Yes, literally. And they have been divorced for like 30 years, but they are going.
Can't wait to have you back on the pod when you get back from your vacation. Hey, what if they got back together? You never know.
Oh my God. I swear to God, you guys. No.
They could.
Jesus
they could.
Christ, they're not. No.
Hey,
no, you don't understand.
Apparently that's what I do. I fix marriages. So there's that.
Yeah, okay. Like oh my God, Jesus Christ. It literally, it's really just hilarious. Like my dad, who never he's been retired since 2008 or 9, I think, and who really just doesn't go anywhere. He just happened to, he was at my son's most recent 10th birthday party, and my husband's family was there, and everybody was talking about the upcoming trip. We had all gotten our tickets in January, and this was February, and all of a sudden he goes, yeah, that sounds great. I'm going. And we're like, what? Is this the same person who I've known my entire life? Who's actually going to go on an international vacation?
Has he ever been out of the country?
I mean, yes, he went on cruises with his third wife, but they would go.
But
on
cruises, I feel like cruises are different. Like, I'm not saying that's not going out of the country, but like traveling to another country
where you have to do everything yourself.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Very different.
Has he ever done that?
No.
Oh wow, this will be very different for him.
Wild.
Yeah.
Correct. No, it was wild. This is
that,
insane.
Okay, so think about that for a minute. You're going to see, how old is your dad?
67.
So you're going to see your 67-year-old dad go through that experience and your 10-year-old son.
I know.
How cool is that? Like, you see two different generations, like, experiencing it from their point of view. Like, I think that's really cool. And I remember I went, Ivy, have you ever been out of the country? And you're like, bitch, I was in the Navy. It's like, that's right. That's right.
I know. Yeah.
So
this is cool.
Ivy's getting prep ready for this trip. This bitch thought she was about to go to Central America as a pasty-ass white girl. No, you're not. You're getting a spray tan because she's wearing a white bathing suit. I was like, girl, you are fine. You've lost weight. You've been working out. You've got your groove back. You are going to get a spray tan. So we got spray tan Huntsville
This
to come.
mom of two looks... I have confidence.
Yes. And you should, because you look amazing. Yes. And so you're getting a spray tan because also we don't want your skin to burn while you're in Central America.
Oh, it will. I burn in the shade. But this wonderful bitch got me a spray tan by Glow & Co.
Yes.
Right before my trip. And I'm so excited.
Super excited for that. And then you are getting your nails done next weekend. And tell me what you were telling me earlier about your nails.
Yes. I cannot wait. I'm going to get the most gorgeous long nails. Like, I want people to wonder how I wipe my butt. Like, I cannot wait. I want them to be so long.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Hold on just a second.
I literally want people to question whether or not I wipe my ass effectively.
No, ma'am. I'm going to need you to get a bidet. If you get long nails.
I literally don't care. I need one anyway.
You know what? That's probably one of my gripes for the future. I'm sad because we had made plans to get our nails done together because I wanted to treat you to your nails before you go because I just think that you're a queen and that you deserve the best vacation because you're a really good friend to me. And so I'm sad that I don't get to go now, but I already had plans prior to us making those plans that got changed to an earlier time. But you know, it's my another friend's birthday that day, and so it's not that day, but that's when we're celebrating her birthday. And I thought initially, when they said brunch, it was going to be at like 11 or 12, and then they changed the time to 9. So I was like, I can't go anymore, Ivy. I'm so sorry.
That's like literally the earliest birthday celebration, but I cannot hate on it because I too. You know, like, it's time to celebrate her birthday. I cannot hate on that.
They're wanting to go to a new restaurant that gets super packed at 11 and they don't take reservations. So I think that's why they chose 9 because to be able to get a table, because I think there's like 6 of us. So to be able to get a table, we're going to have to go out at 9 o'clock because we're trying to go to a new brunch spot. So I get it, which I'm up early anyways. So, but I
mean, truly, it's, you know, and birthdays are fabulous and they deserve to be celebrated. So I cannot hate on that. And that way I won't get side-eyed when I order the 3-inch long acrylics.
And this is how good of a friend I am. I gave up my nail artist for her because she's the best. And I was like, look, I'm going to give you my nail artist because she is the best. And I will get someone else because I just get basic ass pedicure And half the time when I go in there, I'm just like, I just want my cuticles cut, trim down my nails. And they always go, you don't want any color? And I was like, no. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, I don't want any color, but my nail tech understands that I don't want any color on my nail because I hate taking it off. And so that's just what it is. I'm like, no, I don't want a color. But sometimes I spice it up and I get a little bit of color, maybe once a month. I got color the other day. I got this pale pink.
That does look nice.
I like a clean nail, and I usually get gel because I can peel it off, which is so bad for your nails.
It's going to be the exact opposite of what you get.
And I also don't like when they're like, do your nail techs, I don't know where you go, but do your nail that's why I like the lady, because she doesn't question my love life. Like the guys, if I get a new guy, they'll be like, do you not have a boyfriend? And I'm like, come on now, guys. Embarrassing. No, I don't. You know this every time I come in here. Stop asking me. It's every week. Stop it. You know? Do your not ask you that?
I quit going. And for the longest time, then I was doing press-ons. But
I do like a good press-on because then you can just pop them off.
Correct. And then I quit going. So.
Well, I've been trying this year, which I know is kind of bougie and very privileged of me to say. But this year, just because I stepped into a new role at a job and I do have a little bit of extra money, which I've never had in my entire life, that I can now like go get my nails done, which when I say get my nails done, like I literally just get a regular manicure, no color.
Yeah.
Most days. Like I might get nail color, like if I'm going somewhere like on a vacation or Christmas or something like that. Like I might have color on my nails maybe 4 to 5 times a year. Maybe. Yeah. I just don't like it because then you have to go back and get it taken off appropriately, or I peel it off and then my nails are like breaking for forever. So I've been trying to just go get my cuticles cut, try to keep up with that, and just try to like go and get a massage and a facial monthly if I can. Because when I was going to get a massage, like when I was in pain, it never helped. It never helped. So now that I've been going monthly, because now I work at a desk a lot, like my shoulders are just immensely in pain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've been trying to do self-care wise lately, which I know is very, like I said, fortunate and privileged of me. Who knows how long that'll last? It could end tomorrow. You know, what about you? Any new self-care that you've been trying to do?
Oh, that's what I've been doing. Yes. I got my Christmas present to myself was my monthly Squeeze membership, and it has been amazing.
Well, explain. People, not everyone's from Huntsville that listens to this podcast. What is a squeeze?
Oh, you don't know what squeeze is?
What is a squeeze, Mama Job?
No, that is extremely privileged, but I gifted myself for Christmas this year. We just got Squeeze, which is a monthly massage.
And you're lucky because you bought in, and I wish I would have known about it when you bought in.
Yeah, I just didn't tell anybody.
You got into the Founders.
I did.
And you got it like cheap.
Yes,
like
cheap.
You get 80 minutes, right?
Yes, 50 minutes for $75 a
yeah,
month. Mm-hmm.
That is,
which is like generally $95, I believe.
I think it's 100. Is it 105?
No, it's just the 50-minute. I believe now non-founder price is $95.
But if you just pay for it without being a member, is it 105?
Probably.
We probably should have fact checked this before we said
I
it.
know. I probably. Oh my god.
But no, you got in at the Founders.
Yes.
So you got.
I pay $75.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you get? That's for one a month?
Yes.
So if you want to do more than one a month, do you still get the same price?
Ooh, that I don't know. Because I haven't done that. So we probably should be fact checking. So let's.
We should be fact checking.
I don't know. All I know is that I got the Founders price and that I go once a month and I do treat myself and it is fabulous.
It is. And are you still getting your facials?
No, I did stop that.
Well, I'm upset about that because I love Ashley.
I know. Ashley is the absolute best at the tailored aesthetic. Her hands are magical. I just quit doing that because I was like, I felt guilty about spending that kind of money on myself plus my massages. So I let that go a little bit because my skin was, I don't know.
Well, we're going to get you back on that.
Yeah, I'm going to get back on that.
Do you do anything at home self-care wise?
Yes. I go for my walks.
What do you call them?
Hot girl walks.
And so, yes.
And hot girl meaning like internal and external hot girl walks.
Because it's fucking hot outside.
Correct. Because we're smothering to death.
In Alabama.
It has not rained. Not a drop.
And my grass
not
is
in
dying.
our, yes. The dirt and the grass, like it's cracking like the center of hell.
I had to turn my sprinkler system on for 4 days instead of 3 days, and I'm terrible at it. And I just had all new landscaping about a year and a half ago. And like, we had that freeze in January, which killed like 4 of my plants. So then he had to come back and replace those, but he replaced them like right when summer started. And he was like, hey, you've really got to water these plants. And I was like, you're going to make my water bill so expensive.
Yep. Now everything's just crumbling and dying.
Right. And now he just replaced a tree 3 weeks ago, and I've been literally watering it, and it's burning to a crisp.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to morning and night now because it's not raining.
But I take water to that tree, that specific tree. I'm literally walking water to that tree, and it's still burning to a crisp. I don't know what else to do.
I don't know.
Cover it? Can you do a tree cover in the summer? I know you can do tree covers in the winter.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm going to have to ask him, I guess.
I have a brown thumb.
Same.
Kill
everything dies.
I touch.
I can keep a succulent alive, which
thank God
apparently succulents are hard to keep alive.
No,
but I was
they're
like,
hard to kill.
Oh, okay. Because someone told me that succulents are hard to keep alive, and I was like, but you only have to like water them once a month.
Yeah, they're hard to kill.
And keep them in sunlight.
They're for people like us that kill everything we touch.
So I have kept a succulent alive for almost 4 years because I bought it when I got in this house. And it's still in my bathroom, and it's alive, and it's thriving.
I am keeping 2 ferns that my mom
Ferns
got me
are
for
hard,
Mother's.
I think.
Yes. I swear to God, and they are thriving, and my mom named them Beavis and Butthead, and they are on my back porch.
Oh, go back to your trip. We talked about your dad. Speaking of your mom, we talked about your dad, but we didn't talk about your mom going.
Yes, I am so excited. And on top of my parents going, me, Luis, and the kids, my mom and dad were all
That's
staying.
her husband, for those that don't know.
Yes. My
she
husband
doesn't podcast often.
And we're all staying at the same hotel. Obviously not in the same room, guys. That would be weird. But we're all staying obviously in the same hotel. We're all of us are staying in San Salvador. But like Luis is my husband, and then his sisters are going with their kids, and even like my sister-in-laws, their daughters are going, and then oh my God, Jesus Christ, I'm stuttering. There's so many people going. We're like the McAllisters on Home Alone. I think there's like 14 or 15 of us.
Oh my gosh, in the same hotel?
No. We're all spread out across San Salvador, but like pretty close in proximity, I think.
Okay.
So
that would kind of be cool if like y'all had like a whole like wing of hotel.
I know.
It would be kind of cool.
We're seriously going to be like the fucking McAllisters. Like
I don't
on
know
Home
who the
Alone.
McAllisters are.
Like on Home Alone.
On Home
yeah.
Alone. Okay, I was like, who's
Except for we're not staying in the same hotel. We were at first, when this all kind of was semi-planned, we were going to be staying in a smaller like kind of municipality or like neighborhood outside of San Salvador, but Maritza, my sister-in-law, one of them, she was worried about the traffic because apparently the traffic in San Salvador is atrocious.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that, but
is it like a huge city?
It's a huge city. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. So again, geographically challenged.
Yeah, more to come about how bad the traffic is. But she was worried about us like just the traffic.
Now, does your husband still have family that live there?
Yes, his aunts.
So y'all are going to go, obviously, I would hope.
Visit them.
Okay. So you're going to get kind of the touristy experience, and then you're going to kind of also get the native experience. That'll be cool. Because when I went to Iceland, when I went to Iceland, which I've only been out of the country one time, and it was to Iceland. And it was, my friend married someone from Iceland. And so we actually got the native experience. We got some of the tourist experience because he took us to obviously like some of the huge sites, like the waterfalls and like the not glaciers, but the geysir. Is it geysir? Is it called a geysir? You know my vocabulary sucks. Where the things suck, they come out of the ground. The huge water a geyser. A geyser. Again, words are hard. So yeah, the water that comes up and it's like boiling hot. It's like,
I think there's a different word for that, but
I think it's a geyser. Because I was like, it's not a glacier. Anyways, he took us to some of those things, but then we like we then got to see like his grandpa's summer house, and we got to see like we went, instead of eating out at a lot of restaurants, we went to like different family members and like got the native experience versus the touristy experience.
Oh yeah.
But I want to go back again because I want to do a little bit more touristy things. Like I want to do like the Blue Lagoon and stuff like that. Like where it's more touristy, where they don't really do that because it's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when people come here and they're like, we want to go see the rocket. And we're like, why?
Yeah. We're not doing the damn rockets.
Right. Well, I've actually never seen the rocket.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I've never done it. I've never done it. Yeah. But I also am not technically a native of Huntsville, so.
That's also true. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean.
Are you a native of Huntsville?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like when people are like, because I'm from a small town in Tennessee and we have a huge lake that everyone goes and visits. I'm like, I don't want to go do that. I did that like in my whole childhood. Like that's what we did. We stayed on the lake in high school. Like we did all that. And it was like, take me to this. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not.
But no. All right. Did you think of any gripes that you had from this past week, this month, this year?
Ugh. No, it's too hot. The heat is making me just so angry, and my brain just, God, I just can't.
Well, that is a gripe. The heat is just atrocious.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. More about El Salvador. I know. I'm just so excited. I'm hoping to just do everything. I want to see everything. I want to eat street food. I want to get the bubble guts.
Please do not come back with a parasite. Or maybe do. Maybe that's your wish.
Yeah. Maybe if I come back with traveler's diarrhea, I need you to treat me.
Is there actually, because I used to work at a travel clinic where we had to give travel vaccine. Is there any vaccines you're supposed to get before you go?
I looked
or
are
on the
you
CDC.
Supposed to do? I didn't see any recommendations for vaccines before.
What about the traveler's diarrhea? Are you supposed to like preventively take antibiotics?
No, I think just when I come back, if I'm just like absolutely screwed.
Why don't you
and
take
like dying of diarrhea?
Why don't you take some with you?
So I've thought about that.
I would take some with you because I think that's what we did. We would prescribe it just in case.
Yeah, fair, because I don't want to get dehydrated.
Yeah, well, because it can get severe enough. Do you really want to get...
Get dysentery.
What is dysentery?
Like the major shits.
Wait, isn't that what people died of, like on ships when they would like...
I think so.
When they would like travel back. Speaking of ships, I had this thought literally not too long ago. Okay, seriously, and I thought about this because I was listening to a podcast and they said that turbulence was getting really, really bad. Not to scare you before you go on your trip.
Oh my God. Christ.
So I was listening to this podcast and they said that turbulence was getting very bad because of climate change and that it was going to get worse as years go on. And that apparently this turbulence on this one plane got so bad that people died. And I don't know if that was because they weren't in their seats and they weren't buckled up and it just kind of came on all of a sudden and they were like bolted up and down. I don't know. But apparently people were like critically ill. And then they were just like, it's going to continue to get worse. And I was like, oh my God, does this mean that we're going to have to go back to like the olden days where you like get on a ship and you sail across the world? And then I started thinking, did people really do that? Let's think about that for a minute. Did they really do that? Is that really a thing? Do we think that's factual or do we think that people are making that shit up? Because think about it. Like, I ain't trying to be on the ocean for weeks at a time where these waves, these tsunamis, all this shit.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it either.
No. I guess I'm not seeing the world.
Right. Like, I'm just like, but do we think that's factual or do we think it's like fiction?
Like fiction. Magellan was a liar.
Did Christopher Columbus really sail the sea?
No. What is it? Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, 1492. Liar.
Because I'm like, how did he not die with the storms?
He did.
Like, because I'm not saying that there couldn't be storms for how long is the travel?
Liar.
Months?
Fucking years or something. I don't know.
Not years.
There's no way his ship was like wooden.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did it not
termites
break?
And holes. It did.
How did it not break? How is there not one storm that? How did you make it through every storm? How? I'm just like sitting here thinking about it when I was thinking about like, would I get on a boat? How long would it take to get from the United States to like Europe?
No. And even now. Yeah. And
all the hurricanes.
Was his name Christopher? And he was wasn't he Spanish?
I don't fucking
Christopher.
know.
I think Christopher Columbus is a liar.
Geography wasn't my best subject. Neither was history. Neither was history. I mean, okay, so here's also the question. Indians were already here in America, right? How are they here?
They were native to here, and then
But
Christopher
how?
Columbus's ass came over here and like.
So are you saying they were already native, and then Christopher Columbus is like European?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because all these things. Then you start questioning, like, was this real?
No, Christopher Columbus's ass like whitewashed history.
Okay, but then
and he brought disease over here and shit, and was just like, here, you're going to believe what I believe, and here's smallpox blankets.
Really?
I think, or something, right?
I don't know, because again, history, not my strong subject.
Yeah, mine either.
I don't know if I have a strong subject, if we're being very honest. Other than bullshit and lies.
You're just talking shit.
Dead. This is where if I was doing a video podcast, I would put up the skull emoji. Dead.
Just cannot.
Dead.
Oh my god. But on another topic, I cannot wait. I want to eat street food I want to hike volcanoes. There's so many touristy
what if they're
stuff.
active?
I don't know which ones are, but El
Also,
Salvador has a lot of volcanoes.
Are you not nervous about all these hurricanes swirly?
I don't want to talk about it.
Swirly the ocean right now.
Yes, I am.
Is it what's his? It's Burl or something.
I don't want to fucking talk about it. I'm fucking nervous. And apparently, I did not know that we what do you call it? Booked a vacation in El Salvador during the rainy season. Did not know.
Okay, this is going to be a stupid question, so please do not laugh at me, listeners, and you. Is there a rainforest in El Salvador?
I honestly don't know.
What kind of animals are on the street there? Like, are there monkeys?
Lots of dogs and cats, apparently.
Okay, well, that's not abnormal. But, are there monkeys there?
I don't think so, but apparently in the neighboring country, which I think is Honduras, I think there are sloths, and I kind of want to go see them.
I love a sloth.
Mm-hmm.
That's on that movie. What's that cartoon with the rabbit?
Zootopia.
Yes, the sloth is my favorite. What's his name? Yes,
that's the worst scene ever.
That is my favorite scene of all time, and I want to do it all the time to my patients. I'm like,
I don't know if we can be friends anymore. That's the worst scene.
When
they're at the DMV.
Yes, that's my favorite.
No, it makes me want to just crawl out of my skin.
No, it's my favorite.
Oh my god. This is why maybe we're friends. I don't know. We can just be different.
I love the sloth. I think I ran up to him at Disney one time and was like, I love you.
I know.
I did. I
love that movie.
I might have been intoxicated.
That might be why it's your favorite scene. Oh my god.
No, I love him. What's it? Literally. Flash. That's his name.
Is it?
Flash 70-yard dash, because he's so slow and they call him Flash. Because they told her to go visit his friend Flash and she was like, yeah. And then she was there, she went in the morning and she came out at night.
Ugh. Yes, I can't.
But if you think about it logically, that is how the DMV is.
Yes, that's why they did that on purpose.
Right.
It's so, I can't. That is the worst scene in movie
history.
But
he's so cute.
It is. He's super cute, and sloths are super cute, but
are they feral? Are they feral, or are they nice animals?
I think from what Luis has told me, you can pick them up and they don't attack.
Do they have rabies?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I think you have to move them out of the street and things like that, and they don't bite or anything like that.
This is also going to sound like a stupid question.
Probably. I'm laughed so hard.
You said it's a big city.
Mm-hmm.
So huge. Do they have skyscrapers and stuff like New York? Is it like a when I think big city, I think New York.
I think big geographically or land mass wise, but I don't think they have skyscrapers. I don't think that's how the layout. But then
because when I think big city, I'm thinking New York.
Big city is in population, but that doesn't mean architecturally.
Do they have pavement or dirt roads?
Pavement.
I'm being for real. I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they have stuff they have.
I don't know. I've never looked up. This is not a place that I've been let me go visit. Is this a place is this typically a vacation place?
It's starting to be, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because from what I know, it's thankfully they have a new president. I don't know how many terms he's been in so far.
Oh, they call it a president?
Yes.
Okay.
They have a president, and it's Nayib Bukele is my understanding. He is not a dictator, he's a president.
Oh, okay.
And he turned their crime around is my understanding. So he made it a much safer country, because before you could not travel to El Salvador because of the crime.
Okay.
Well, because back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, they had civil wars.
Okay.
And it was extremely unsafe. Super unsafe. You could not travel there. Well, now you can, thanks to him, because he locked up gang members and all of this.
Okay.
So it is people travel there from Europe and the US and all
so
kinds
it's now
of stuff.
more of a touristy type
Correct.
situation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know your husband is fluent in Spanish. Since that's obviously his native country, does he have a different dialect, or like he can like translate for y'all?
No, he'll translate for us.
Okay. Because I was like, that's awesome to like have that already built in.
Correct.
And then you don't have to worry about anything. Because when I went to Iceland with Ezra, like he was able to obviously talk for us, but everyone in Iceland spoke English. So, and it was actually funny. I was at a grocery store. We were buying some groceries because, like I said, we had more of the native experience versus the touristy. So, like we were buying groceries to cook stuff at like the summer house and everything. And one of the when I was checking out, like he came up to me and started speaking to me in Icelandic, and I was just like looking at him, and he was like, "Oh, you're American." And I was like, "Oh, that's so cute.
Nice.
You thought I was Icelandic. That's how cute." And he was like, "I did." I was like, "That's cute." But no. And then he started speaking in English to me, and I was just like, "Sorry.
Nice.
Y'all's language is super hard." Love Iceland though. Would totally go back again.
Can you imagine like even trying to learn that language? No way in hell.
No, his wife does try to learn it because their kid, they're trying to make him like teach him bilingual. And so like she understands it because she's been with him for so long, but she doesn't speak it. But she knows when he says things, like she can understand it. So which I think that's kind of with all languages, like people tend to understand more than they can speak. Like, I'm sure when your husband talks, you're like, okay, I kind of got the gist of what you were saying, but I just can't speak back to you.
Should I be better? Absolutely. There's a time
You know what
and a
we
place
should
for
start
everything.
doing? We actually should start taking Spanish classes because it would help us in our jobs.
Absolutely.
Because I think America, that is my, you know what? That is my gripe. That is my gripe. That is my gripe for the year is that America as a country sucks because we are so privileged that we think that English is the only language. Come the fuck on.
I know.
Every other country teaches people 2 to 3 languages, and we are like, no, only learn English.
Correct.
So that's my gripe.
Absolutely. And I guess, I will brag on Luis. He has learned, he's getting his bachelor's right now, but he's gotten how many degrees, but in his second language. Can any of us sitting here right now get degrees in a second language?
No, we can't.
Yeah.
No.
He's working on his bachelor's right now in his second language.
Right.
So I mean, when you think about it.
So that's my gripe. So now you have to come up with a gripe. Before we end the podcast, you need a gripe.
And not the heat. Let's see.
Not the heat because that's too obvious.
Oh, Lord. Well, my brain just froze. It does that a lot. I have a gripe. Oh, Lord. Ooh, yes, I've got a good one. I hate when I really try to take excellent care of my patients and they have the nerve to, this is getting a little personal, they have the nerve to call my office manager and rant and rave that why wasn't the doctor there and would the doctor agree with my plan? Yes, the doctor would agree with my plan. And let's just also props to my office manager who didn't even maybe sink into the diatribe and uplifted my education and experience.
And I will say,
it was excellent.
And y'all, I'm not saying this just because Ivy is my friend. We're both nurse practitioners. She is a hella. And when I say a hella, I mean 1,001% smarter than me.
No, don't let her.
No. There are certain like, I'm not saying I'm not smart. I'm not saying that I don't know my stuff. But there are few and far between nurse practitioners that I personally know that should have been a doctor that know as much, if not more, than a physician because you chose. Also, I think your brain kind of works the way a doctor's does. Mine does not.
Let me just also say that, I don't know, nurse practitioners were supposed to be smart. Like, you can't say that NPs are supposed to be less smart than, right? Because we need to be intelligent.
Okay,
right?
I'm not saying that, but if you think about, how do I word this? If you think about like kind of, and I'm not saying all, but I think that some people in nursing they don't want to be bedside nurses anymore. So then they're like, hey, let's just be a nurse practitioner. But that was never their goal. They didn't want to do it. They're just doing it, number one, for the money, which is not that much, because once they get into it, they're like, oh, wow, y'all make this. And I'm like, yeah.
Correct.
Number two, if your goal was never to be a nurse practitioner and that's not something you wanted, I do think there's a difference in that type of nurse practitioner versus you.
Oh, ones that actually don't really want
That's
to
not what
be
they want.
Investigative,
Right.
do
Like,
not want to.
like maybe they want to be a nurse practitioner to go into aesthetics, which is fine. That is completely fine if that's what you want to do, which our state does not allow that. I'm just saying, like, to me, that's not passion. Well, I shouldn't say that, because you could be passionate about aesthetics. I'm just saying, like, there is a difference in your level of knowledge versus mine, but we also had two different careers. Like, your doctors wanted you to learn more. My doctors did not. So at that point, it was kind of like, what was the point? And then I'm not going to keep putting forth this effort to keep trying to learn more if I'm not going to, number one, be paid for it. Number two, be acknowledged for it.
Yeah. That was shameful.
Or number three, you're just going to disregard everything I said.
Yeah.
So you had to kind of make peace with where you were. And that was the position I was in versus you, where your doctors actually
wanted
it more. So there is a difference in that type of environment.
Yeah.
I think
they wanted us to grow and learn.
Right.
And fostered a learning environment. And
but I do think that there are some nurses that want to be nurse practitioners because they think in their mind that it's less work, or they think that it's more pay, when it is less work when it comes to like demanding on the body, like bedside nursing, but it's more work when it comes to knowledge base. So you have to, it's a different type of work.
Yeah.
And I don't think that some people are ready or understand that.
That's true. And then they may get complacent, knowledge wise, and then it possibly can look bad for the whole profession, possibly.
Right.
So I guess my one gripe would be, in these streets, I would enjoy if people would take my advice when I give them guideline-directed advice and therapy.
Yeah.
Like, bitch,
she's talking about her patients. I know we were just talking about nurses, but she's talking about her patients now. We just switched topics.
Yes. That's my gripe. That is my gripe. I would have to say, that, it's like I'm not just making shit up out here. I'm not just making shit up.
Right.
Recommendations for no reason.
Right.
And also my second gripe would be, I guess we can get off on a soapbox. I think BMI is trash, but that can be a whole. Actually, that can be the next discussion.
We'll
maybe
hold that for
pod.
the next one. Yeah,
yes.
BMI is trash, and we will talk about that on our next. When you come back, because I know you're leaving soon, but when you come back from El Salvador, we will, number one, talk about your trip, and then we will continue on our gripe sesh.
Yes, and that can be a whole, maybe like the next pod can be talking about El Salvador, and then the third one can be our BMI is trash podcast.
Yeah, I agree. We can do that. Because Ivy's going to be, against her will, co-hosting the podcast with me just to have girly pop sesh. Number one, because she's hilarious. Number two, because we don't need serious talk all the time. So look forward to more conversations with Ivy in the future. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.